In this WrestleTalk news, the weird reason why Judgment Day was split up, 2 top WWE stars upset, the McMahon family infighting, and more. Subscribe and enable notifications to always on for daily wrestling news videos, like WWE's latest evil plan to make new stars. Clone Randy Orton.
Support WrestleTalk!
With Cody Rhodes potentially out of action for up to 8 months recovering from his torn pec, Randy Orton working a lighter schedule, and Ted DiBiase Jr. being sued by the state of Mississippi actually true story, WWE is currently without any former Legacy members to face Roman Reigns. So as WWE have done time and time again, when your back is against the wall, to inferior replications of what worked in the past. New WWE signing David Bostian managed to get himself a lot of internet buzz purely for looking like Randy Orton. He made his in-ring debut before last night's episode of NXT 2.0 using the typically boring name Miles Bourne, where he was defeated by Guru Raj. The match will air on Friday's episode of NXT Level Up for the two of you that watch that. Now we just need a young John Cena clone and we can make them fight forever. But secretly swabbing wrestler DNA and growing new, faster versions of them in a lab isn't the only way to fix your talent depth issues. You can also haphazardly break up your top heel faction. Despite only being a full act for a few weeks, teasing more members to join, Judgment Day turned in on itself on Monday's episode of Raw when Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley sided with Finn Balor to beat up the man that brought them all together, Edge. You can watch our review of that insane angle by clicking the link in the video description below. It was seemingly a very last-minute decision, as you can probably tell with Edge's music and name bar graphics still being used on the show despite Balor kicking him out of the group. It was first speculated this could either be because Edge is injured, although his character could easily just take a more managerial role while he recovers, or because WWE suddenly found themselves in desperate need of a top babyface on Raw with Cody out injured. PW Insider somewhat corroborated the latter idea when they reported Edge was now being listed internally as a babyface. But a new report has come out from Fightful Select that suggests Edge was booted from his own faction because of a creative disagreement backstage. Apparently Balor was pitched to join Judgment Day, turning heel in the process several days before Hell in a Cell. In this storyline, there was no mention of Edge leaving the faction. Instead, Balor would likely become yet another one of Edge's misused superstars who have seen the purple light. The real reason Edge left the group then might be because of the more supernatural route WWE wanted to take the Judgment Day faction. A classic Vince McMahon move, mistaking anything dark with "ooh, let's give them magical powers." Edge was reportedly opposed to the supernatural direction, probably because that's not the point of the faction, having a more psychologically dark tone than the actual macabre, and seeing how badly received Priest disappearing from the ring to end his AJ Styles match in April went down. If spooky really is the route WWE want to go with this act, we can probably expect its new leader, Finn Balor, to become an actual demon soon. What do you think of the Judgment Day storyline? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for your support on Patreon, The Kessel Run, DX Solo, and Double L Liam Leonard. You can get your own shout out by going to patreon.com/WrestleTalk. Sunday night saw one of the most visually impressive feats of wrestler badassery in recent times, as Cody Rhodes fought through the immense pain of his pectoral muscle being torn off the bone to wrestle a 25-minute Hell in a Cell match against Seth Rollins. No one asked for this, but Cody has now posted a series of Instagram stories that show the spreading progress of the internal bruising. It first started out as a little purple blotch, barely a nipple cripple, and look, it's Ghost the doggy in the background. Okay, yes, the second picture shows it is spreading to the armpit, but somehow in the sexiest way possible. Yep, alright, okay, that's starting to look like a blotchy infection of the Venom symbiote now. Oh god, it's taking over your flesh. And there's the final bruising in full Hell in a Cell glory. Watch Vince McMahon now walk around backstage trying to yank unsuspecting wrestlers' arms backwards, because that bruise has directly led to ratings. WrestleNomics is reporting Monday's episode of Raw pulled in 1.87 million viewers, which is the highest total viewership since the Raw after WrestleMania 2 months ago. This was up 25% from the previous week's episode and was helped specifically by the near 2 million viewership Cody's Hour 1 promo received. This was despite being up against tough competition with the NHL playoffs and, very impressively, is up 232,000 viewers year on year. Although last June we were still in the Thunderdome. A lot can change in a year. The unthinkable can happen. Cody, AEW's founding member, is now in WWE. Jason and Chriselle both got together and broke up in Selling Sunset. And now Vince McMahon is seemingly turning on his own children. Watch yesterday's WrestleTalk news for the full story, links in the video description below, but the recap version is Stephanie McMahon announced she's taken a leave of absence several weeks ago, and then WWE allegedly planted a story about how she wasn't good at her job, so Vince pushed his daughter out in trade journal Business Insider, a significant step up from just burying her to a dirt sheet like PW Insider or Wrestling Observer. Both Fightful and Dave Meltzer have since reported this is not true, citing sources close to both Nick Khan and Stephanie that the decision to step back from WWE was her own, not Vince pushing her out. Meltzer went one further, saying his sources think the sudden burying of Stephanie is because Vince doesn't like it when you leave the company on your own accord. It certainly fits in the WWE playbook of spreading stories about released wrestlers having always been difficult to work with, like Keith Lee or Bray Wyatt, when it seems more of a way to harm their chances outside the promotion. Call me a romantic, I just never thought Vince would do that to his own daughter. That's not to say there aren't a few smouldering embers in all that smoke. Fightful note that some WWE employees had commented on performance issues with Stephanie, one of them being hiring Claudine Lillian as WWE Head of Global Sales and Partnerships. Fightful reports Lillian was let go by McMahon, who didn't think she was right for the position, which was blamed on Stephanie. And now, in a move as efficiently ruthless as being kicked out of the event WhatsApp group when you say you're no longer attending, Fightful add that Stephanie has now been removed from internal production emails as of this week's Raw. Stephanie's isn't the only backstage drama in WWE. WWE have announced a series of convention appearances for their stars in Texas and Virginia, promoting the likes of The Undertaker, Seth Rollins, Edge, Kevin Owens, The Bellas, and Rey Mysterio. And also Carmella, although you wouldn't know that going by WWE's tweet because she's neither on the poster or tagged in the copy, prompting her to reply, "I'll be there too," in all caps, with a gif saying, hello, which isn't that out of the ordinary. Wrestlers, especially heels, post worked outraged tweets like this all the time. Where this is different though is Carmella made a follow-up post, retweeting a fan comment that says, "They always forget about you and I'm sick of it. Give Mella a mic and let her tell how she really feels," with Carmella adding this, 4 fingers pointing at the tweet emoji. Maybe similar to how Alexa Bliss was publicly frustrated with her lack of creative over WrestleMania, Carmella hasn't had a match since WrestleMania 38, and has seen her tag team with Zelina Vega break up, get back together, then put on ice again with Vega's injury. Becky Lynch's Twitter game, however, is far more likely a work. After Monday's Raw, where she was beaten by Dana Brooke for the 24/7 title, Lynch has blacked out her social media on Twitter and Instagram, changing her bio to simply read, "Unknown." Wrestling just can't get enough of the Worky McWork shoots right now, but in truth, there is only one Worky McWork shoot work shoot face to rule them all. In an update of the MJF AEW pipe bomb fallout, Fightful is reporting the Saturday fan meet and greet no-show was most likely a shoot, as in, that part was real. Sean Ross Sapp noted he heard from people involved that you absolutely do not work if you're anybody in the company, and that Tony Khan would not work. Likely reflecting the working environment in AEW, those people's initial reaction on hearing that MJF hadn't shown up to the meet and greet wasn't anger, it was concern. They had genuine concern for MJF's safety. We're told at one point there's discussion about having his hotel room kind of busted into to make sure he was safe. Shawn continued, saying MJF no-showing meant a couple of wrestlers had to stay over time and were not happy, and that it ended up costing AEW $10,000, again making it far more likely at least this part was real. AEW talent Jake the Snake Roberts, no stranger to all-time great promos, has shared his thoughts on MJF's follow-up pipe bomb to DDP, speaking on their podcast. For me, it made me sick. It really did. I would love to see what the locker room is like. The bomb that he dropped is going to have repercussions with people. Roberts went on to say how he was shocked MJF no-showed the signing because of how important the fans are to Tony Khan. MJF has also been removed from AEW's show intros, website roster page, and merchandise, while other reports say Warner Bros. Discovery have specifically requested him be dropped from all promotion work going forward. It's the shootiest shootiest work we've had in quite some time. Find out more by watching on.
In this WrestleTalk news, there's some major developments backstage in WWE with Stephanie McMahon, Warner Bros. Are seemingly anti-MJF, Luke's review of Raw, and more.